Welcome to Enchanted Tarot. This is for the sign of Leo for the month of July. It is a general reading, so it will not resonate with each and every one of you who are watching. If this does not sound like your story, check your moon and your rising sign. Your messages could be there. If not, check back in the following week when I put out a new message for your sign. So let's just jump right in. What I see here at the root is the High Priestess, the Magician, and Temperance. So there is a deep desire, or even a secret desire, to manifest a healing, to bring balance to something. This goes really deep. Something I feel at a soul level. But something went wrong. Something happened here. You wanted to reach for it, but you may have thought that there was little hope. You may have thought that that there would be deception here for some reason. You may have been afraid of taking that leap for fear of deception. So the opportunity comes in as that Ace of Pentacles, but it was abruptly cut out. So you may have quickly decided to end it, back away. It was a quick decision, something taken quickly, and it would have been because of fear. Something you were afraid of. You were afraid of this. You deeply desire it at a soul level, but yet you feared it. Clearly, you wanted this opportunity. It's here. You were eyeing it, looking at it, and even now, in hindsight, you still do this. You still desire this, but you're afraid of it. I feel that there could have been emotions you may have thought you dealt with that may have resurfaced and were the cause of this sudden fear. Fear of what? Fear of somebody maybe crossing a boundary. Fear that somebody would not stay. Clearly this is some type of reconciliation that was trying to take place, but it didn't get off the ground, so like a false start. Because we see you here, although the person has not crossed the boundary, you felt that they might. You felt, again, that if I extend my hand, that person would not stay, that they would betray you. Because you see Eve down here, not really reaching for the cup, and the snake is tempting her away. So it is a card of temptation. So although you were tempted, you just suddenly backed off, afraid. Nursing a broken heart with this Nine of Cups. Unhappy. Clearly, it's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You want it, but you're afraid of it. Afraid to get hurt. In the near future, there is a possibility of this window of opportunity reopening. But you may feel that you cannot rely on this happening because the thought has crossed your mind in this situation here of the broken heart. you feel, you may feel that it's out of your control. The decision you made back here was very cold and very abrupt. It was made from a place of your beliefs, a place of fear, many fears. You see, I see it all right here. Here's that very deep soul connection. But again, you see, you're afraid of being left out in the cold. You're afraid of getting your heart broken because that has not yet happened. You may have a victim mentality here because that crow is looking for its victim. But those swords have not struck. This is something you fear might happen. And you're struggling with these fears and these feelings. Here, clearly, you see, in the upright, this person doesn't see a way out. And in the reverse, it's like they just can't deal with this, or feel or felt at the time maybe that they made that decision that they just couldn't deal with this, or couldn't deal with the possibility of this happening again. So clearly, the breakup from previous was very hard on you, and you would not be wanting to repeat that process. But you never actually healed from that breakup. I see it here in this card. And clearly, you want the opportunity. You've been thinking about this for quite some time. And you have, in your mind at least, made up your mind that you don't want this to end. You want new memories, or to have new memories. This is what your heart is saying. But it's you see, the heart won't lie, but the mind will. So it's like a war between the heart and the mind for you. But clearly you don't want this to end. You don't want it to be over. You love this person. And you're studying the idea of another possibility, of moving it from the choppy waters where you are sitting presently. You're in this water right now because her foot is still in the water. And you're contemplating moving it to a calmer shores, or out of that choppy water. But the fears you've piled up in that boat prevent you from getting in. They prevent you from taking action because you're in the reverse. And clearly, these cards here at the bottom of the deck are telling you you're afraid, or they're telling me you're afraid rather, because here we have the Eight of Cups, okay, and this is somebody who's feeling alone. They're lonely, they're withdrawn, they're unhappy, and they are unfulfilled. They're wanting to be in a relationship. They're tired of being alone. They're tired of that feeling. Their life feels empty. But the devil keeps them here. The devil keeps them afraid. And for you, it could be a pattern with the devil that needs to be broken. In your outcome here, we see that you want to go back. That's still evident here with that Eight of Cups reverse. You want to go back. You are alone here. You're feeling on edge. You have all of your boundaries in place in front of you. And you're praying to the divine. You're praying. It's like you're praying for help, basically. And you have this card of steadfastness. So it's like so you're praying for help, to have the courage and the strength to be able to push forward with this. With what? With the goal. The goal is to go back. And this is what you want, and is what you are praying to the divine about. So if we go up to Floros here, this is a card of restraint, okay? Having to do with, because its planet is Venus, the element is Earth. Earth is getting grounded, or trying to get grounded. It is being cautious, being careful when it comes to a relationship. And the message on this card is sometimes conflict is unavoidable. The art is to know when to call a truce and when to make peace, and to know when to lay down the fight. And it says that restraint and generosity need to be exercised even when the battle is won. And then we have Larage. Its planet is the moon. Its element is fire. The message on this card: if you have suffered a setback, brooding on it will only worsen your position. Okay, so you have to know when to lay down this fight. Something that's allowed to fester and get worse is what this card is about. It can indicate physical illness, but it more often will indicate a sickness of the soul. Allowing that bitterness to settle in. And then we have Focus. This is a card. It's a card about achieving one's aims or goals without ruffling any feathers. It is speaking to, it's ruled by Saturn, first of all. So Saturn, we know right away there's something that needs to be learned here. So it does speak to if you've learned the lesson, because Saturn will leave a parting gift if you have. Good fortune follows from listening to the wisdom of ages. Something that you need to reflect upon here within these messages. The sacred pool. If you can't, it's in the reverse. So if you can't accept and love yourself, you're going to remain trapped, wearing a false mask of victimhood. And we saw that in this reading. Turning away from the truth that is reflected in the stillness of the sacred pool keeps you in denial, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Look in the mirror and see the truth. Surrender the need to self-sabotage. You can change your world, but you must choose to do so. You must understand what keeps you here. And this can always be found in the past. You will find your answers there. And once you find it, you can change it. Because you have another opportunity coming in. I thank you for watching, for liking and sharing my videos, and for subscribing. Also, thank you to everyone who has sent in a donation. It is greatly appreciated. Many blessings.